All right. So this is part 2 of the series I did. The last episode was we were talking about why we're so lost and confused and what are we really doing here. And I recommend you go back to that because this episode is not going to make sense without. So, in the first episode, I talked about this idea that we came here, we gave ourselves spiritual amnesia, we got lost, and we forgot everything. And now we're waiting in the dark, trying to figure our way back home. And all these feelings that are coming up, we don't like, but the feelings are actually to guide us, to tell us, hey, you are off course. You're not finding yourself. You're actually going in the wrong direction. And the body is doing the same. So now what? What do you do with that? How do you fix it? How do you actually fix it? Yes. So what happens? I think we need to talk about the ego structure, right? So what is happening there is that the pain is really given by the definition and what happened here. We separated from our soul and we're sort of waiting in the dark. And the first illusion is that we are separate, right? And with that illusion comes another illusion that says, oh my God, so I am separate. I'm the body. I need to protect the body. I need to stay alive. I need to be safe. I need to eat. I need to get, right? And with that comes the first layer of identity called I need to be safe and secure. And I need some predictability. Okay. And I need some certainty. I need some control. All right. So now we're going to do just about anything to fulfill on that because, this is the whole question of fear, right? So now we are chasing security and safety, and we're doing just about anything to get it. And the less integrous the things that we do, the more it's going to hurt. Okay? The less integrous the things that we do to pursue safety, the more it's going to hurt. People get very, very misguided. They try to do that by accumulating more and more money. The more money I have, the more safe and secure I feel. They try to get into relationships that make them feel safe, right? That try to get as many clients as possible because that's going to make them feel safe, right? It's this like, I need more, right? I need more because I don't have enough, right? And the more we get trapped in this illusion, the more we're going to hurt, right? The second thing we do is in a relationship to others. We need validation. We seek to be liked, to be admired, to be respected, to be acknowledged, to be validated, to be reassured, right? And that also is that the more we do that, the more we want that, the more we need that, the less of it we actually get, right? The less of it we actually have, because you can either want the respect and you can have the respect. If you're going around chasing respect, well, guess what? The universe is it's not only going to hurt emotionally, but the universe is also going to deliver you a bunch of people who don't respect you at all, to show to you, hey, you're off track. That is not where you find joy and happiness, right? Joy and happiness is in freedom of these things, which is why, all of our branding, all of the podcasts, everything that we named has been about freedom, because the path to liberation is starting to liberate yourself from all this stuff and liberating yourself from the need to be respected, acknowledged, admired, agreed with. Ooh, it's a tough one, right? liked, loved, all of those things. The next one, the next layer is specialness. Specialness. It's glamorization. It's giving power away. So we haven't felt really safe, can't quite find a way to feel safe. It feels very painful, because it doesn't matter how much money we have. There's always something that is going to make us feel unsafe. There's always going to be some threat. We just can't seem to get everybody to like us because we're not a pizza, right? And there's just this never-ending chase for acknowledgement, liking, all of those things. All of that feels pretty painful, even though we're faking it, right? Because we're doing all our practice and all our gratitude. I feel better. I make myself feel better. We do all the yoga. We do all the breath work. We clear energy, and it's like endless loop. Now it's like, oh my God, when am I going to get there? And then you say, all right, that person over there seems to have it, right? If I'm just like that person over there, or if I work with this person over here, they're my coach, or I'm in their circle, then okay, I'm going to feel better, right? Or if I act just like this person over here, or if I wear this makeup, or if I dress like this, or if my personal brand is like this, or if I have this house, or if I have this kind of relationship, if only my partner treats me this way, then I am going to feel good and better, right? So this is specialness, and it is giving power away, giving power to something outside of yourself to feel that pain. That, by the way, if you relate to this, then you're a minority, because vast majority of people still have no idea that the pain is there, right? Because we have been so suppressing it, repressing it, but it's a pain of disconnection from the divine. Okay. So we do this. We chase. What is the next thing that is going to fill me, right? And then we get the next thing, and we're happy for about 2 minutes, and we go back to whatever the level was before, right? So that kind of gives you a sense of what's going on, right? So there's this sense for safety and security and certainty and feeling in control, getting kind of a handle on the world, right? So we can kind of feel safe in it. And there's this need to be liked and approved of and agreed with and respected and validated and acknowledged and all that, right, in relationship to others. And there is this oh my gosh, and there's this seeking and searching in the next thing and all the things that we think are going to get us there and make us feel happy, right? So it gets really interesting. And the way to liberation is the opposite of what everybody else is trying to do. It's not more safety. It's not more admiration. It's not more respect. It's not more money. It's not, being special or having more special people around you or being in the right mastermind around the right table with the right people and having the right house of the right size in the right country, right? That's not liberation. It's actually, and it's not also having nothing. It's you do not have to be minimalist and have nothing, that is not necessary. You can actually enjoy life. You're totally welcome to have fun and all that here, right? But it is detaching from letting go our attachment to all these things, letting go our wanting of our attachment to the safety and security and control, and feeling like we need to feel on track, right? It's letting go of wanting the admiration and liking and respect and acknowledgement and validation, right? It's letting go of grabbing onto all those things outside of ourselves that we think are going to make us happy, right? And the way we get there is this, right? Oof, a few things. Number one, telling the truth. The brutal and honest truth is, what am I? Who am I? What have I been attached to? What have I turned into a value, right? I say I really care about my clients and I want transformation for them. In the meantime, what's really going on that I really want their approval, I want them to like me, I want them to get the results so I can advertise the results and say, hey, I'm a great coach. You know, it's telling that kind of truth to ourselves, right? We don't have to advertise that. Although I will totally advertise it. I'll tell you that I've been there, right? It's telling complete and total truth about our just the money situation, right? Money is great as a tool. It's a transactional tool, right? We need as much money as we need, but it's like when it turns into a goal of its own, just to, because the need for safety is like a bottomless pit, right? It doesn't matter how much money you have, you always need more, kind of thing. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like part of the human ego, right? So then, we have to tell the truth to ourselves. And this is where distractions come in and the human ego comes in, and it doesn't even let you look at it. It's like, oh my God, I would rather, like, what? Like, there's this like, no, 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 right? And the reason I can sit here and share this with you, because this has been coming to these realization has been a process since March, where I have gone through just so much emotional release, so much detachment on top of 25 ceremonies, some of them ayahuasca, some of them boga, some of them other plant medicine, countless nights without sleep, detaching, letting go, sitting, right? So I can sit here and tell you, like, this is not a 5-minute process to free yourself of these things that we're grabbing onto and the specialness and whatever, right? So anyway, so that's that, right? So telling the truth is step one. And I know this is kind of a big conversation. You might be totally overwhelmed by it, and you might be like, oh, where do I even start? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We're doing a retreat in January, on January 10th. I want you to be part of it. And we're going to go in little bits and pieces, little bits and pieces. We're going to do this together. This work isn't done in 5 minutes. It's like, for some people, it's like 60 lifetimes, right? 800 lifetimes, whatever it is, right? So you don't have to let go of all the attachments, and you don't have to let go of anything that is in your life. You can kind of like see it and choose, I'm going to keep on living the way I live. It's totally fine, right? Doesn't also mean that you have to get rid of your money. Not at all. Not at all, right? But telling the truth to what have you turned into your value, your God. Is there a difference between when you say is important to you and what is actually important to you, right? That is the truth telling that we need to do. Number two is the process of releasing the wanting of these things, wanting the attachments, or wanting of the security, the safety, the need to feel on track, the need to control the world, the want for other people's liking and approval, and wanting to be just like other people, or putting other people on pedestal, and not valuing ourselves, all these things, and all these things. And there's an emotional release component that needs to happen, because the attachment to these things lives within our emotional body, which means it cannot be dissolved in our brain. It has to be dissolved here in our heart, in our emotional body. And this is where letting go practice comes in, right? This is where the Sedona Method comes handy, which I really like to practice along with my clients. Dr. David R. Hawkins letting go. We just kind of practice kind of a hybrid method that we kind of develop that sits somewhere between those two. and where we go in and we sit with these feelings and we let them come up and we kind of wade through them and dissolve them and transmute them, like, and then we clear them out of our system, and it's not easy whatsoever. Okay, so so that's part of it. The last thing that is very much needed is self-forgiveness and self-acceptance at every point of the journey. So, why this is so important. First of all, there is no self-forgiveness needed. You're perfect as you are. There's nothing to forget, nothing to forgive. Okay? Literally, there's nothing to forgive. You are walking your journey absolutely perfectly. Don't forget, you're doing pretty great. You got yourself a spiritual amnesia. You cut yourself from God. You gave yourself ego and body. And now you're waiting in the dark and you're doing the best you can. Okay? So there's absolutely nothing to forgive. Even if you killed your neighbor, you did it probably out of ignorance. Ignorance is innocent. There's no such thing as sin. Okay? No such thing as sin. You're doing great. You're doing fantastic. There's nothing to forgive. However, through the process of forgiveness, that is the way you actually realize it. Because as you begin to practice forgiveness and you tell yourself, I forgive myself for yelling at my kids yesterday, and you will notice that the brain starts talking back. The mind starts talking, but you can't forgive yourself for that. That's, blah, blah, blah. It starts talking. And you're like, huh. And you be with that energy, the resistance to actually loving yourself and accepting yourself fully as you are, right? So we kind of have to go through it and sit with it and sort of like, move through these energies, release these energies that stand in the way of us fully loving ourselves. Self-love is so, so, so important because, part of finding ourselves and waking up, it is not to have all the psychic abilities in the world, right? And talk to spirits and fly to the moon. That's not the point of this at all, right? It's actually not that impressive, right? Like, what's really impressive, you didn't come here into the body to fly around talking to spirits to a bajillion dimensions. At least I believe that. I think that's really, really cool stuff that people are doing. I don't know how to do that, but I think that's really cool stuff that people are doing. But what's really impressive is to find a way back to your heart and to love. That is what the point of this journey of waking up is. It's waking up to love, right? And unconditional love is this point, is this this kind of the goal, right? That we're aiming for. Love without condition, acceptance of all without condition. And it starts with us accepting ourselves, right? We have to accept ourselves first, because when we accept every dark and dirty and disgusting part of us, right? Then there is not a whole lot to project out on other people. When we have full compassion for ourselves and we find every part of humanity that we despise within ourselves, we start having compassion for everybody else. Whew, right? So this really is an important part of the process, falling in love with yourself, with every part of you, and accepting every part of you that you once didn't like, right? So those are the three things that I think are super, super, super important. And I think here's a fourth one that is coming to me as I speak. And that is practicing, there's on the pillow and off the pillow sort of spirituality, right? And on the pillow, we do the emotional release, we do the self-forgiveness and the unconditional love, we do the letting go, we do the telling the truth. And then there's off the pillow when we're walking in the world. And that is probably the hardest part, where we will be tested in a million different situations, and we're feeling awful and we really want to snap at somebody and we really want to be angry, or we're really not feeling like it. Are we being kind? Right? Are we being, we don't have to be loving, we don't have to fake being loving and tell everybody we love them, that's, some people like, I love you, and and I'm just going to be nasty to you. Like, you kind of see that in the coaching space quite a bit, and just like, no, there's no requirement to be loving, but practicing kindness, that's just something that we have to do, and it's not easy. It's not easy. Okay. And practicing forgiveness for others and accepting them as they are. So that's kind of like the off the pillow spiritual practice, right? And no, we're not going to be perfect, and we're going to mess it up. And again, we have to forgive ourselves and say, hey, I'm doing the best I can. So anyway, that's my spiel. That's what I think we're doing here. Invitation to join me on January 10th. We're going to be doing some experiential stuff. We're going to be do some practice there. We're going to be dissolving some of the layers. Super, super excited to share this time with some of you. And yeah, reach out, send me an email, send me a text, wherever we are connected. I want to hear from you if this is resonating, because this this past 2 episodes, this is really just something that is so important to me, and I would love to connect with anybody this resonates with. Thank you so much.